What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today, I'm going to give you a pre-market update on Virgin Galactic. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So yesterday, it did go down 1.59%. Pre-market, it is currently up 0.40. Very minimal volume. I'll break it down on what shorts are doing and everything else. But starting off, there has been no recent news, no SEC filings, nothing like that. And on a larger scope, a lot of institutions have been coming out saying that a lot of the small mid-cap stocks are set to rally into the greater part of 2024. So once again, stocks such as Virgin Galactic that have been largely slammed massively are due to have a nice rally. The only caveat to that is this did come out on December the 13th. And it's very unfortunate because this is the exact same day that the market just took off. So Virgin Galactic has been holding some of its gains, as you can kind of tell, but it should be roughly around here where, I guess equivalently, a lot of the other growth stocks did land. But because of this news on the 13th, which I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of, but Richard Branson has come out saying that he's going to be pulling the plug and not going to be investing any further in Virgin Galactic, which is a massive red flag. So once again, the broader market is ready to take a lot of stocks higher that kind of fit the criteria of Virgin Galactic. Just, I don't know, this is, like I said, a red flag that I feel like a lot of people don't need or didn't need at the time. In addition to that though, a lot of analysts are saying as well that people are rotating out of fixed income into equities. So you kind of have a lot of optimism and willing to push the market higher. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. When it comes to yesterday though, even though it closed red, there was a lot of imbalances. So you can see the Reuters news yesterday saying that there was a very big imbalance as far as on the buy side. So that definitely does make you question things overall. If obviously there was more buys and sells, then why on earth did it go down like 1.5%? But lately there has been no analyst ratings. Most likely a lot of analysts are waiting for the upcoming Q4 earnings and just to see the results, because during the Q3 earnings, they surprisingly did raise guidance for the revenue. But I feel like a lot of people that gave it a nice boost up, definitely. I'm not hating on Virgin by doing that, because that actually was the defining point that got it higher. But if you do look at a lot of the forecasts for the upcoming earnings and what analysts are doing, it goes to show that they're not really believing it. So looking at the earnings per share, currently there's around 9 analysts that have given estimates with a consensus of -30 cents. And looking at the revenue for the upcoming Q4 earnings, it looks like there's about 8 analysts with a consensus of 2.99 million. And if I remember correctly, I think they did quote 3.5 million. I could be wrong. I'll have to double check that. Going over options activity from yesterday. So you can kind of see there was a lot of optimism. $242,000 in calls being purchased versus 72,000 in puts. So people are anticipating for Virgin to continue to trend up and maybe piggyback off of the broader market's optimism. Looking at some of the calls that have been purchased, it is anticipated for it to be above $3 by the end of this week. And keep in mind, on Thursday, there is GDP numbers coming out, and that could be the defining point for the broader market to propel it significantly higher. Looking at puts, it's anticipated to be sub 250. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. As far as shorts, they have not really been doing too much in all fairness. So just looking at this chart right here, you can kind of see based on yesterday, it went from about 20.7% to 20.65% for the short interest. So surprisingly enough, even though it did close 1.59% in the red, shorts were returning some shares. So not necessarily the best news when it comes to that, but overall 20.65% of the free float is being shorted, 75.71 million shares overall are being shorted, and through Interactive Broker short availability, it does indicate that there's around 450,000 shares available to be shorted. So kind of interesting stuff. So one thing I just wanted to play for you is just this video, because I do feel like a lot of people would get a lot of benefit out of listening to this one. And then after that, I'll just cycle and go over some technicals.
On the markets is Noah Blackstein, Senior Portfolio Manager at Dynamic Funds. And what usually happens, generals advance, soldiers catch up. The S&P goes to new highs before the end of the year, Noah?
Probably, and there should be a lot of catch-up coming in the Russell small caps and mid caps as well, which we've seen begin to move higher and have broader participation right now, which is very good to see. You know, it's been for a lot of the year, it was a very Mag 7 focused type of market. Participation is broadening out. You know, we've had a nearly 100 basis point decline in the 10-year yield since the end of October. So it's good to see this broadening out, and that bodes well for 2024 in terms of returns. Certainly not as concentrated as before, but should be broader based returns for sure for 2024.
So yeah, there you have it. Short and sweet. So a lot of good optimism for stocks such as Virgin, and you can kind of tell that through the options activity as well. But looking at the technicals, so with it at $2.47, it is between this R1 and this R2. In fact, yesterday it kind of touched both the R1 and the R2, so both extremes. And most likely, I do feel that the broader market does want to have it past this R2, so between the R2 and the R3. So maybe the options activity, the call options, are where it's at and are correct that it is going to be above $3 in the foreseeable future. So let me know your thoughts on that. So as it stands, $2.36 is going to be the next strong support, and then $2.58 is going to be the next strong resistance, and above that is $2.93. So I feel like everyone is very optimistic about a continuation of a rally, and Virgin hopefully does piggyback off of that sooner rather than later before it misses the boat. But who knows? Let me know your thoughts on Virgin. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with Virgin? And like I said, I know it's a little bit late as far as news, but what is your take on Richard Branson doing this? Do you think it's justified? It's not? What's your take on all of that? Looking at the momentum indicator, shows number of retail investors have been slowly getting out yesterday as well, so that's kind of an interesting point. Looking at stochastic, you do see a bearish sentiment starting to form, so red line above the black, and it is at 82, so it is considered rather overbought. So the technicals are a little bit high, so again, it comes down to the fact that Virgin does need to really get their shit together, pardon my French, but like it's going to miss a very good opportunity to piggyback with the broader market. If not, then it's just going to pull down and it's going to go maybe into this lower percentile once again, which I don't think anyone wants. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo with Moomoo. Sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is one of the best deals in the market. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.